Of course, PETA has the idea that Pokemon is evil and is endorsing the idea of animal abuse being not only acceptable, but a way of life. But they aren't far from wrong. If you play the intro to the original theme song backwards, it pretty much tells you to worship Satan, punch the neighbor kid in the nose, and to steal candy from babies, while enslaving wild creatures simultaneously. Oh, yeah, wait, no, it doesn't. But what PETA does believe is that animals which are kept in captivity should be called animal companions, not pets. If you have a pet at home, it is an animal companion, not a pet. If you want to go to the pet store, you're actually going to the animal companion store. That is one of my biggest animal companion peeves, is when people try to change words like that. Gah! But seriously, PETA does believe that Pokemon is endorsing animal abuse, and they've even gone so far as to make a game in the style of Pokemon Black and White, demonstrating their main premise on their fight of Pokemon, that Pokemon supports not only animal slavery, but animal abuse as well.
I'll show them true abuse.
Let's take a look at the franchise as a whole and together decide if that truly is the case. All realities of canons of the franchise have one thing in common, and that is if a trainer is not up to the standard of the eyes of the Pokemon, they actively choose not to listen to the trainer. One of the most memorable instances of this is how Ash's Charmander leveled up way too freaking fast by burning down a whole forest of Executor. His Charmeleon chose not to listen to him. It simply would not obey him and instead did his own thing, and later lost to a Bears.
Noob.
As a Charizard who was no better, still a stuck-up lizard creature as hot-tempered as a flame on its tail.
You evolved because you wanted to rescue me when I got into trouble.
Eventually, as the series progressed, Charizard did recognize Ash as a decent trainer and decided to be his friend. Without benefits.
Bitch just got friend-zoned.
This is also an in-game mechanic. A trainer who is not deemed worthy by the Pokemon they send into battle will and can choose not to obey the trainer. Spitefully, they just sit there and take damage, which is the ultimate form of passive-aggressive behavior. As we all know, it is the gym badges that signify the strength and reputation of a trainer. In-game, the badges state that they make Pokemon of a certain level obey you, and yes, they use the word obey. The badges do have special properties that raise stats too, so not entirely sure if they have mind control abilities as well, or if the Pokemon just obey them on their own free will. Either way, it demonstrates that they do have the capacity of free will. As for forcing Pokemon to stay in their Pokeballs, this may not be the case either, although not seen in the games or in the manga to my recollection, please correct me if I'm wrong. The TV show does depict the ability of Pokemon to release themselves from their Pokeball, Psyduck and Wobbuffet being the most readily available examples. The anime also depicts the ability of Pokemon to choose not to be captured, even when weakened. It seems as though the franchise is putting out the idea that Pokemon choose to go with you if and when they are good and ready to do so. Unless you want to be a dick and use the Master Ball. The franchise as a whole gives off the idea that Pokemon enjoy battling. That is how they feel fulfilled with their existence, becoming better and more effective in their lives by evolving.
Yeah, evolving into a zombie. Sounds great.
Going back to the main argument, I think it's pretty safe to say that PETA has the wrong idea about Pokemon being slaves, as Pokemon have their own free will and ability to refuse their commands so they can refuse battling. But there is still another half to that claim that PETA has, and that is Pokemon battles are unethical and demonstrate animal abuse through means of a monster version of cockfighting. If you want to be astounded by the true origins of Pokemon battles, come over to my channel, watch this video about long-standing Pokemon questions, including if Pokemon battles are animal abuse. You can either click here on the screen or the links in the description below.